You're listening to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, the only place to get an uncensored take on all things pro wrestling. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your fucking host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and thank you for checking us out. We are in a new era as we close out the year 2024, and of course, ushering in a new era. We're going to usher in a whole new intro, which I just made. Go easy on me, people. I'm not an expert at editing, so before you make a comment and tell me that looks like shit, you can go fuck yourself. And while you're going to fuck yourself, you can also subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell if you like what you hear. Yes, this is the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, so you will be hearing a lot of expletives, a lot of swear words like fuck, ass, tit, shit. But also, we're going to be covering all things pro wrestling. And today you're here for a good show. We're covering WWE Monday Night Raw live on December 16th, 2024 in Boston, Massachusetts, B-Town, home of the Boston Red Sox, Boston Bruins, and Boston Cream Donuts, which I'm a big fucking fan of. Although Krispy Kreme is more my style. But to kick off Monday Night Raw, we see CM Punk coming out to the ring. CM Punk says, "Some people might get mad when you chant my name. I'm feeling a little low and I'm in a bad mood. I told Seth Rollins face to face that I don't think about him at all. I'm mad because he's right. It's only a matter of time before we lock up in this ring. Every time I talk, I know that stupid song is going to play and I'm going to get interrupted. Just because you wear Elton John sunglasses doesn't make you Elton John. And because you are a wrestler, it doesn't make you CM Punk. He calls me a bad boy. I am 100%. Seth Rollins is CM Punk's failure. Seth, I'm willing to give you the wrestling lesson you asked 4 years ago for free. Ask yourself, Seth, are you tougher than Drew McIntyre? Austin knows you're not. There's not enough staples to put you back together when I'm done with you." During his scheduled time, the world chanted my name, and then Seth Rollins appears in the crowd. Seth says, "Let me take a good look at you from this perspective. You're still an asshole from over here." CM Punk says, "That's great. You belong with the rest of the CM Punk fans in the crowd." Seth says, "When you abandoned this place, I took it on my back. This fan has more WrestleMania main events than you ever will, Phil." And that causes a huge brawl between CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the crowd. Guards try to separate the two, but they can't. They brawl in the ring, and finally the two are separated. You know, CM Punk made some decent points here. He basically said that he is better than Seth Rollins, that eventually they are going to lock up, but he's going to give Seth Rollins that wrestling lesson that Seth wanted years ago. And Seth comes out with his point, which is a very true, honest, and clear point that, hey, listen, when you abandoned this place years ago, I brought it back to where it is and the standard that it is today with my wrestling, my entertainment, and now WWE is as big as it is. He put it on his back. He sounds a lot like a bad guy, and once I saw Seth Rollins come out, I had a feeling like we're going to see a turn here. We're going to see Seth start to become a little bit more babyish, and CM Punk is not gonna play into that. So CM Punk definitely calls himself a bad boy. I think CM Punk lost this promo battle. He said a lot, but in the end, Seth Rollins' words stick out. Phil, um, I've main evented more WrestleMania matches than you ever will, and I think that's a true point. CM Punk is getting old. How much longer can CM Punk do what he's doing? Meanwhile, Seth is a lot younger, and Seth definitely has built a name for himself. I'm just excited to see these two meet up when they do. We then see the WWE Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker defending against Ludwig Kaiser. Bron hits a running clothesline. Bron then lands a jumping clothesline off the apron onto the table on the floor. Kaiser hits a flatliner for a 2. Bron hits a super Frankensteiner for a 2 count. And then Bron lands a gut buster and a spear. And Bron Breakker retains the Intercontinental Championship. And a decent match here. We did see him defeat Ludwig clean. Ludwig is a great wrestler, But I wonder now that Braun's going to move on from Kaiser if he's going to take on Sheamus again, or if we're going to get a brand new competitor moving into the new year. I don't know, but I will say Braun Breaker is one of my fucking favorites. He reminds me a lot of like the 2003 Ruthless Aggression Attitude Era guys, where he just stands out, and his Super Frankenstein is awesome. His running spear is so fast and great. I'm a huge fan of Braun Breaker. Ludwig Kaiser is great as well, and he had a good job making Braun Breaker look good in this match. Before the match, we see Drew McIntyre talking to Seth Rollins backstage. Drew says that Roman Reigns is the same person he was before. Everyone is fooled but you and I, and you know everyone who supports Roman needs to be taken out. Seth says he's gonna do what Drew McIntyre couldn't do and end CM Punk. And it looks like if things don't turn out well for Seth Rollins, he's going to join forces with Drew McIntyre. And these two guys might be a huge issue for Roman Reigns and the OG bloodline. I do think that these guys have a point. We as fans like to romanticize wrestlers when they come back. I like how Roman Reigns is saying that after I take out Solo, I'm still going to be the tribal chief and you're still going to acknowledge me. Roman hasn't changed. And that's a true fact. And when you look at Roman, you're going to judge him on the fact that, yeah, he got attacked, he got screwed over. But how many times has Roman really hurt and screwed over many people before? You're having sympathy for the devil, and I get it. And I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. I definitely want to see more people go against Roman, though, since Roman has attacked everybody. I do think that Sami and Jay obviously do have a point in helping Roman since there are familiar bonds there. But Seth has a deep bond with Roman as well, being part of the Shield. We'll have to find out where this goes. But Seth Rollins definitely has CM Punk on his mind. We see Rey Mysterio confronting the New Day backstage. He tells them they should find somewhere else to change after the way they attacked Big E a couple weeks ago. And the New Day oblige, and they basically don't fucking care. They're like, whatever, screw you guys, anyways. And the past couple of weeks, we haven't heard anything from the New Day. They came out last week to talk. They got booed out of the arena. This week, they don't even come out. They just walk around backstage, and their voices aren't heard. This is really dumb. It doesn't make sense why they would attack Big E to begin with. I get it. He wasn't by their side. But after this damage is done, we haven't seen him do a fucking thing. Like, what's going on? But we will see the New Day get involved. Adam Pearce makes a big announcement that we will see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins when Raw debuts on Netflix on January 6th. We also know we're going to see Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and um, that tribal war, tribal conflict, whatever, combat. It's going to be a good show there on Raw. We then see our first round WWE Intercontinental Women's Championship triple threat match. We see Raquel Rodriguez with Dominic Mysterio and Women's World Champion Liv Morgan take on Zoey Stark and Kayden Carter. Before the match starts, though, Liv has a megaphone and says she's the greatest women's champion of all time. 2024 was the year of Liv. That's when Rhea Ripley interrupts with Morgan. Rhea says, "Shut the hell up. This has gone on long enough, and it's time we settle it once and for all. You're looking at the number one contender. I will be the new champion, and all you will be left with is your chicken tender slut," referring to Dominic Mysterio. Good promo from Rhea. I do wonder where this is going to go after this final match between the two. We've seen Rhea go on against the Judgment Day since losing at SummerSlam, and I'm excited to see the next chapter in these two women's rivalry. However, it needs to come to an end, and it will probably on the Netflix debut episode of Raw. Before we see the match, we see Drew McIntyre fighting with Sami Zayn backstage. They're brawling, and clearly their match this Saturday night's main event did not end their rivalry. Moving on to the triple threat match, Zoey Stark gets the win after hitting Kayden Carter with a Z360, and Zoey moves on in the women's Intercontinental tournament. I thought Raquel was going to win this match, but Zoey fucking Stark is the stud of the month, and she's actually moving on to do some things here in this triple threat match. So, good to see Zoey Stark get the win. We see a weird logo that like pretty much flashes on the screen, and we don't know who it's for or what it's for, but I'm hoping it's a debuting superstar that we'll see soon. Next up, we see the Pure Fusion Collective attacking Kairi Sane backstage. They lock her hand in a crate. Damage Control is going to be pissed about this attack, and poor Kairi Sane doesn't get a fucking break. Moving on to our main event, the WWE World Tag Team Championships on the line. The World Tag Team Champions of Judgment Day defending against the War Raiders. Ivar lands a super body slam and a pop-up powerbomb to JD McDonough for a 2. Finn hits a sling blade. JD lands a moonsault. Coup de grace, but Ivar breaks it up. Finn goes to take a steel chair, but Damian Priest, dressed as a stagehand, grabs the chair from Finn, and then the War Raiders hit Finn Balor with a War Machine, and we have new World Tag Team Champions, and the War Raiders. This long-time title reign of the Judgment Day comes to an end. They've only defended the titles like 3 times in their reign. I'm excited that the titles are in new hands because we now know that fucking people are going to defend the titles. How the fuck do you have a tag team division without the tag team champions defending the titles every week? Stupid, and hopefully we see some changes in the future. Decent episode of Raw as we come to the end of the year. We're getting closer to the Royal Rumble and the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. That's becoming more and more like a pay-per-view as we go. For me, the greatest moment of this show was seeing CM Punk and Seth Rollins go out in the beginning of the night. Their promo was heated. Crazy stuff here on Raw. But with that, we've covered everything. We'll be talking about SmackDown and a lot more coming your way as we close out the year. We have the 2024 Slammy Awards coming out on December 30th. Make sure you check that out. I'll be giving you the greatest men, female wrestlers of 2024, along with the best matches, storylines, rivalries, and everything else in between. So until next time, stay safe, stay safe, and stay unfucking censored.